graph is using this thing called the Cartesian plane. Okay, the Cartesian plane is this box type thing that you're seeing in front of you, and it's made up of two important axes. So you have the x-axis, which is your horizontal axis, and then you have your y-axis, which is your vertical axis. Okay, so your x-axis and your y-axis. And the Cartesian plane was brought into the world of mathematics by this dude over here, this very French-looking man. I don't know if any of you do French at school. Do any of you do French at school? Tiana, hi.
Hi, ma'am. I'm a bit late because I was trying to get here.
It's okay, don't panic.
So, like, I just have a question. What did y'all do while I was trying to log in?
We literally just started. So I've just started over here. So you haven't missed anything important yet.
So what is this?
This is the Cartesian plane.
What is it?
That's what we're talking about, sweetheart. Don't panic.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Tiana, and you also have the power to unmute yourself, okay?
Yeah. We've given you guys
Whenever you want to talk.
because we've got a nice small class here. Do any of you do French at school? And you can say this name in a very fancy French way for me. I mean, it's Renee, but I think you're supposed to, like, I suppose it's like Descartes, but I don't know. Jasmine, can you tell us how it would sound in French?
Can try.
Okay.
René Descartes.
I think that
sounds so beautiful.
It sounds glorious. Let's go with it. Okay, so this lovely little French man over here, he brought up this idea of the Cartesian plane. And the Cartesian plane is a way for us to link algebra and geometry. So it's like a link between them. It acts like a bridge between algebra and geometry. And the way that it works is we use these things called coordinates. And coordinates are made up of an x value and a y value. So just to be clear, this coordinate over here, you always have your coordinates in brackets. Then you have your x coordinate first. Then you have your y coordinate, and you have a semicolon in between them. Okay? And so you're always going to write your x value, then your y value, and it's going to be in brackets. So for example, if we were looking at this point over here, who can give me the coordinates of that point that I have just drawn? Who can give me those coordinates? So have a look at what its x value is, have a look at what its y value is. Okay, Anam, it's great. What's missing? What's missing? When it's coordinates, we need something that's important. Brackets, yes, Roma, brackets. Beautiful. Okay, so if I was going to go through these coordinates, I would say my x value is 4 and my y value is 1. Okay, so we go fx and then we go y. Okay. That one. I'd like as many answers as possible in the chat for me, please. Please, can you tell me what my answer for that pink dot is going to be? What are my coordinates of that pink dot? Don't be scared. Yeah, hi.
Isn't it like -2,4?
Yes, okay, but be careful. It needs to be semicolon. So we're going to have a bracket. We're going to say -2 semicolon 4 bracket. Nice job, Tiana. Okay, guys, remember you can unmute yourself. So when you're wanting to chat, just unmute and talk to me. So we write our x value, which is -2, and our y value, which is 4. Always our x value first, and then our y value. All right. Okay, let's have a look at oh, can I give you a sneaky one? I'm going to give you a sneaky one. Let's see how you feel with that blue dot. It's okay if you're late, guys, don't panic. I am looking for the coordinates of that light blue dot, and it is sneaky.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
It would be 0 and semicolon 3.
Yes, Roma, you did not fall for my trap. Well done. Nice. Okay, so when we're looking at it, our x value is 0 and our y value is 3. So we're going to write it as 0, 3. Always our x value and then our y value. Okay. Okay, let's try one more like this and then we're going to do something. Let's go there. Jasmine?
-4 semicolon -3.
Yes, beautiful. -4 semicolon -3. Actually, I'm going to lie and I'm going to do one more over here. I'm going to do that yellow dot over there. Last one on this page. Last one on this page, and then we're going to say goodbye to this little French man. What is that yellow dot going to be? Yes, Nico, nice.
Well done, guys. You guys are doing great. I love the small, nice dots.
I know. It's so nice. I feel like we can like talk to each other more. Don't be scared to like talk to me, guys. I like it. I like that we're going to be able to like have moments.
Yeah, have some conversations.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. So this is sort of the idea of finding coordinates. We're going to spend a little bit more time on it, and then we're going to move on to something else. So over here, we're going to read off some coordinates from this picture. All right, so I'm going to start you off. I'm going to do A. So if I'm looking at A, then my coordinates for A would be 3 and 1. Now, what I would like you to do for this picture, now listen super carefully to the instructions. You can either, I think for this one, put your hand up just so that not everyone is speaking at the same time. So you can either put your hand up, choose a letter. So let's say I'm Jasmine. I'm Jasmine. Jasmine puts her hand up. We say, yes, Jasmine. And then Jasmine says, I'm choosing L, and she gives me the coordinates of L. Okay, so either you can do it verbally, so you can tell me the coordinates verbally. You can choose any letter on this page that you would like to do, or you can do it in the chat. So you can choose any letter that you would like to do, and you can write your letter and the coordinates in the chat. If you're doing it verbally, just remember to use the hands up so that we can call on you. You can unmute yourselves, but just so that only one person talks at a time. Okay, so Fatu, if you want to choose J, that's great. Just write J and then write the coordinates for J. Okay, let's get going. Roma, I see that hand. You can unmute. Tell me which one you would like to do.
Mom, I'd like to do N.
Okay, what are my coordinates for N?
-2 semicolon -2.
Yes, beautiful. Nice job, Roma. Awesome. Okay, Marula, we're all yours.
I choose Q.
Okay, Q. Tell me what Q is going to happen.
-7, -5.
Beautiful. 100%. Lovely. Tiana, we're all yours.
Ma'am, I'm choosing E.
Okay.
I think it's 0 and 2.
Beautiful. Well done. Nice. Don't be scared of me, guys. Put those hands up. Have a chat. Tell me what's going on. Virginia, I see C over there, which is 6 and 2. I like it. 6 and 2. Good. K, -3 and 2. I can't see who wrote it right now, but I see that it's there. Kutlwano. Well done. -3 and 2 is 100% right for K. Moabi, we're all yours. Tell me which one you'd like to do.
I'm choosing B.
Okay. And what is B?
1 and 3.
100%. Nice. Good. Fatu, we're yours. Which one would you like to do?
L.
Okay.
-4 and 4.
Beautiful. Kutlwano, which one would you like to do?
M.
Okay. Yeah.
-6 and 0.
100%. You didn't fall for the trap. I love it. Well done. Tiana, we're yours again.
Ma'am, I forgot to put down my email, but
You silly banana.
I think it's 3 and -2.
Nice. Good.
Yeah, 3 and
Yeah. I figured. Okay, Jasmine.
You guys are doing well.
I
Yeah,
4 semicolon minus 3.
beautiful. Well done. Nice. And Num.
-3 and -4 for P.
Which one are we working with here?
P. -3 and -4.
Oh, which one's going to be first?
The -4.
Yeah, -4, -3. Nice. Okay, great. Roma. Oh, no.
I'm doing D, ma'am.
Okay, good. D.
It's going to be 7 and 0.
Beautiful. Okay, we've got one left, guys. We're looking for J. Oh, and G. Oh, and F. We've got 3
Let's
left.
go,
We've
my
got
people.
F,
We can
G,
do
and
this.
J. There are 3
We
left.
are nearly there, guys. We are nearly there.
We're so close. Let's have a look. Let's see if these are coming in.
Tiana
now.
on the line.
Oh, Spati, sorry, you did J. Sorry, I must have missed it. Tiana, yeah?
Ma'am, if it's 1, yeah, wait. I know it's 1, but
What's my Y value?
I don't know. I feel nervous now. I can't see.
No! Okay, so my Y value is on 0. So my Y value is going to be 0.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Sure.
Why are we doing this?
So we can't understand straight lines if we don't understand coordinates.
Is this like the start of geometry?
It's the start of straight line graphs.
No, I did patterns in class, but the teacher said it's functions in relationships.
Yeah, so patterns leads into functions.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, Roma, can you do our last one for us? We've got G.
Yes, ma'am. It's 0 and -1.
Beautiful. Nice. Okay, nice job, guys. You were superstars over there. That was awesome. Okay, so like what I was saying to Tiana now, if we can't get our coordinates right, then straight line graphs just falls right out the window. So we really have to understand this. Otherwise, we're really in a bit of a pickle. Okay, but don't worry, we'll be jumping into straight line graphs during this lesson, so you don't need to stress. Okay, so we're going to plot these coordinates. So from here, all I'd like you to do is I'd like you to get yourselves a piece of paper. So make sure you've got a piece of paper with you. If you've got like blocked paper, if your maths book is a blocked paper, then that makes your life really, really easy. But if you don't, just any piece of paper that you're working with, make sure you have a ruler. If you don't have a ruler, you can always use your calculator, like the side of your calculator as a ruler, or a pen that have a ruler so you can draw a straight line. Try and get yourselves a pencil. Whenever we do straight line graphs, we want to draw it in pencils. And what I'd like you to do is try and read. So you don't have to draw all the grids, okay? You need to draw your axes. So you need to draw that x-axis and this y-axis. And then you just draw little lines like that for the numbers. Okay, so you don't need to draw grids. You just need to have like a little line to show where each number would be. So can you draw yourselves one of these quickly for me on your side? It doesn't have for art, but try and keep the distance between each of your numbers quite similar. Otherwise, it makes your life a little bit of a pain. And you're going to want to have your x-axis and you're going to want to have your y-axis. And once you've done that, then I would love for you to plot these coordinates. So to plot A, B, C, D, those 4 different coordinates. And I'm going to actually add one over here. I'm going to add E, which I'm going to say is 1.5 and -2. So I'd like you to 5 coordinates. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of time to do that. And then I'm going to plot them on this graph. And we are going to mark them together. And see how you did. Let's see who can get 5 out of 5. So draw yourself your Cartesian plane, plot your 5 points. Let's see how we go.
You can do this, my people. We are doing it. Let's go.
And if you're struggling with something or you want to ask, remember, just ask away. Don't feel stressed to ask. If you're worried someone's going to speak at the same time as you, you're still welcome to put up your hand and I'll just call your name and you can just unmute. But don't you feel like you have a little bit more power? You can unmute yourselves. Does it feel nice? Oh, you did this today. That's awesome, Yusuf. I love it. I love it when you do the same things at school. Oh, you've unmuted. Are you chatting to us?
Ma'am, sorry. I wanted to say, it's very simple. Like the only thing that confused me, but my teacher clarified, was the point where they would give you a negative and then a positive in the coordinates. And I used to think it was a positive as well, but I never used to look.
Yeah, it's a sneaky one, but like as soon as you get it, and you're like, oh, that's so easy. And it just like snaps in your brain.
Yes, ma'am. But there's also another one called,
Good. I'm
like,
glad
I
that you
don't
had that
know,
moment.
but we didn't like cover it yet, but it's like a linear one where another line crosses through.
Ah, no, we're going to get there. So we're going to get there in this course. Not today,
Okay.
but in the course. Jasmine, yeah, hi.
I understood A to D and got lost at E.
Yeah, E was a little bit of a sneaky sneak. Okay, but let's go through them together. Let's see how these go. Yeah, Tiana, hi.
Can I say something like just like a small talk? Ma'am, I don't like doing stuff in class before I do it.
Why?
Because I don't understand my teachers by school. So like when I know I do it here, then I know when I go to school, I'm gonna ace that test. Not
Okay.
when my school first. I was
So you like to learn it here first, and then when you see it at school, then it's like just revision of what we've done.
Yes, ma'am, because I don't understand my teacher. It's tough.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you understand me. That's good. I'm glad.
And Tiana, it's just a piece of advice. You know, when you learn something at school, please always go and check our videos on the website, okay? Because maybe we have covered already that chapter. You just have to go back and learn it from the videos.
Yeah, just double check them. Okay, guys, let's zoom through these. Let's go. So A, we're going to go -2, and then we're going to go to 1, and we're going to draw a dot, and we're going to write an A. If you got A right, you can give yourselves a tick. Okay. B is 3 and 0. It is going to be on that. It needs to be on the line. Okay. It cannot be just above, below the 9 because my Y is 0. Give yourselves a tick if you have gotten B correct. C, our X value is 0. Our Y value is -1. Again, it needs to be on the line. Okay. That's going to be C. Give yourselves a tick. D is -2 and -3. That's going to be D. Tick. And E was sneaky. So it's 1.5. So here's 1 and here's 2, which means I have to go in between them. So 1.5 is in between them. And then my Y value is -2. So I'm going to have a dot that's in between 1 and 2. And I'm going to call that E. How did this one go? What are we getting out of 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 out of 5? Who landed up getting E right? Tell me things.
Ma'am, I have a question again.
Sure.
E, I'm still like confused by E.
So E, all that's happened with E is we've gone halfway between 1 and 2. So my X value there would be 1.5.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, now I understand why we use blocks in the bed.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
See, blocks are our friends. Okay, let's see. So we've got lots of 4s. I'm assuming that the loss of that mark was looking at E. So hopefully that makes a bit more sense now. Jasmine, does E make sense now?
Yes.
Good. Oh no, Fatu, what happened with C? Did C just
Ma'am,
like? Yeah.
I put the dot at the -1 for the X.
Oh no, that's so irritating. Always remember X first, X and then Y, X and then Y, X and then Y. Okay, guys, we're gonna do a quick brain break and then we're gonna start drawing these ourselves. Okay. Oh, goodness. Okay, so brain break, we're going to do the same thing that we have been doing. So we're going to do something different on Thursday. I found something cool, but we're going to do dingbats again today. So remember, it's a picture and you have to tell me what the phrase would be from the picture. So there's 2 today, one which I thought was really hard, but then people ended up getting it quite quickly. So
Yeah,
not hard.
Marilla, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
And then another one which is quite nice and easy. And then we're going to draw some straight line graphs and we're going to learn about the equation. We're going to chat about that a little bit. Okay, so
Moabi, you're seeing our brain break twice. So maybe you and I have to sit a little bit back to hear and
I didn't join.
okay, you hadn't gotten there before the brain break.
I joined when there was 15 minutes left.
Okay, good. Don't give it away for anyone. Okay, let's go with our first one. Let's see. What is my answer to this first picture? What is the phrase associated with this picture? Not bus stop. It's ready to say something, but you're both being quiet, so I don't know what you want to say. Oh, there we go.
I like this one. This one, flying to heaven.
Jasmine, we're all yours. Which one do you think it is?
Sky's the limit.
Yes,
well done.
Sky is the limit. Nice. Okay, so for this, oh, guys, I'm like making my M and N. There we go. The sky's the limit. Okay, so for this one, road to the sky, driving into clouds. No. So these are limit signs. They're like where you would have on the highway where it will say like 120 or 100 or 60. It's a limit, and so it's saying that the sky is the limit. Let's try our second one. The second one's super easy. You're going to get it in like 10 seconds. So I'm ready for the answers to come flying in. Let's see. I'm going to go Marilla. Easy one. Virginia, I don't think I've heard from you tonight. How are you? Are you going to give us our answer?
Yes, ma'am.
What is it?
I think it's World Cup.
It is 100% World Cup. Well done. Nice job.
Well done.
Okay, so those were our 2 ones tonight. We're going to jump into some straight line graphs from here. I'm going to see how we go. But you're going to be fine because you're brain buffs and I'm not stressed. Okay. And the brain break that we're going to do on Thursday is going to be very cool. It's very different. I found it and I got very excited. I got a little bit addicted to them and I did quite a few of them by myself, but now I'm going to share them with you. Jasmine, hi.
I like the dingbat thing.
The dingbats. I like the dingbats too, but I feel like you get them too quickly. I want something that will make you guys think harder. I want some maths involved again. I want some numbers. Something that like makes you stress. That's what I'm seeking. That's what's coming on Thursday. Okay, let's move down. Exactly, Jasmine gets these too easily. Agreed. Okay, so we are going to start looking at how we can draw a function. And when we are working with functions, we're going to in grade 9, graphs. In grade 10, we start looking at a whole bunch of different graphs. So let's actually just look at that because it can be quite fun. Let's look at what different graphs you can do. I'm just going to draw myself a whole bunch of axes over here that we can play with.
Ma'am?
Yes, hi.
I wanted to ask, what is your position, how do I say it? Opinion on maths late, because we're doing subject choices this term.
What is my opinion on Mathlet? My opinion
Yeah,
on
and
Mathlet.
at my school, I saw a lot of people, like there's this one kid, he got 8 out of 125. So I am worried.
Yeah, that's quite tough. Look, Maths Lit, it depends on what you want to study after school. My general advice is I actually think Maths Lit is a really useful subject. I think you learn stuff in Maths Lit that actually helps you. It talks to you about budgets, it talks to you about scale, it talks to you about, like, if you were starting a business, what your income would be, what your expenditure would be. So I think that if you are not going into a course in university that requires maths, and by that I mean anything that's BCom or anything that's BSc, so any of your like business work or any of your sciences, they all require maths. If you're not going into those, and yeah, then I don't think it hurts to do Maths Lit, but you would have to be very confident that you don't want to go into one of those fields, because Maths Lit is a very cool subject. But if you are wanting to go into BCom or BSc and you do Maths Lit, you won't be able to do those in university. So just be careful with what you're wanting to do after school. Yes, sir. I see you're
okay.
unmuted. Can I?
Thank you, ma'am. I just wanted to say thank you for the answer.
Does it help? I hope it helps.
Yes, ma'am. I just know at the end of the day they're gonna force me to take pure maths. But anyway.
Look, I think generally my advice is like try and stay with maths as long as possible, because it keeps more doors open. See how it goes. Okay.
Ma'am,
Hi,
I
Tiana.
you like something to say, ma'am. What if I want to do like business now, but
Yeah,
I
so
don't
if
want
you're doing,
to let, cause
but
like
if you, yeah, the thing is like, yeah, guys, this is a great conversation. I wish I could talk about it more, but we're going to waste all our time on Maths Lit. My general stance is like, stay in maths as long as possible because it gives you more options. But Maths Lit is a very cool subject which teaches you cool things. And if you're going to go into something like, I'm trying to think of like a whole, like there's a whole bunch of jobs that you don't have to have maths for. You can do psychology without doing maths. You can do Maths Lit with psychology. You can, I can't even remember all of them, but I'll find the
remember,
list.
like
There's
my
a whole
teachers,
bunch.
most of my teachers be like, I have like I'm good at pure maths. They don't suggest me to go for Maths Lit.
Yeah, so if you're doing well in maths and you want to stay in maths for as long as possible. Okay. But definitely your options, if you take Maths Lit, your option is definitely not to just be a cashier, 100% not. Okay. All right, so let's get back refocused here. When we're talking about functions in grade 9, the only function we learn about is a straight line graph. So it kind of just looks like that. Basically, you've got a line that just goes up. It either goes up or it goes down, but it's a straight line. In grade 10, we start bringing in this dude over here, which is called a parabola. So that's a happy parabola, but you also get a sad parabola. We also bring in a graph that looks like this. That's called a hyperbola. So it like splits across. And we get a graph that looks like this, which is called an exponential. So we get all these new graphs. So grade 9, we only need to focus on this one. But if we don't understand that first one, when we try and build into these three, everything just falls apart. So it's really important that we like understand that straight line graph. Otherwise, when we try and move up, things become a bit nasty. Yeah, don't panic if you haven't heard these terms. You're only going to be needing them in grade 10. Okay, so for the moment, I just want you to focus on the straight line. Jasmine, I do see your hand. I'm just going to talk a little bit about this first, and then if you still have a question, I'll come to you. Okay. So when we're doing our straight line graph, whenever we learn a new formula, all of these graphs, so all of these different graphs have their own formula follow that we would work with. Okay, and a straight line graph's formula looks like this: y equals mx plus c. So that is the equation of a straight line graph. Okay, an equation, exactly, Moabi, you can 100% be a lawyer with Maths Lit. That is the equation of a straight line graph. All right, so some of you, I think, will have already seen this in class, which is those are the people that I'm going to be trying to focus question to, because if you haven't seen this before, then I can imagine it being a little bit scary. So those of you who have seen this equation already, I would like to know what that M stands for in this equation. Jasmine, can you tell me what that M stands for?
No, but I got a question.
Okay.
Is it possible to draw straight line graphs on one set of axes?
Yes, absolutely. You can use your axis for lots of graphs.
Because that's where I messed up with it.
No, that's okay. You can definitely do that. Mavi, are you going to tell me what my M is?
Ma'am, is it gradient or slope?
Yes, good. And what gradient is?
Ma'am,
Yes, Tiana.
is it a number?
So yeah, good number. But what that is exactly what I was looking for.
Is it my network that is
Steepness of a graph?
Also experience it.
Sorry, Linda?
I was asking if anyone can
Me
experience
as well.
You feel it too. Okay, so Teacher Jan, your network is
Is my network struggling?
You freeze sometimes and then you talk sometimes, so we're not quite sure what's going on. Like now, I think she's frozen.
I'm glitching because I haven't as we go through this.
So, hello, Teacher Jan. Hello, Teacher Jan. So we didn't hear the last 2 minutes or so, or 1 minute. We didn't hear what you just said.
Okay, I'll try and go through it.
I think everyone, we should try and switch off our camera. Maybe that will give her more. So I'm just switching off my camera. So maybe that will give more, I don't know, wind bandwidth or something like that. I've heard it somewhere. Teacher Jen, are you with us?
I thought it was causing an issue because I can hear you guys perfectly.
Oh, I'm not quite sure why you're glitching. I thought it's my network, but I think most students also experience the same thing.
Okay, sorry guys, let's try jump back on and hopefully it will. Okay, so when we're looking at this is our equation of our straight line graph. So we have y equals mx plus and verbally that gradient. Okay, and a gradient tells us about our slope or our steepness of a graph. So basically, if I have a graph that looks like this, that's a really, and if I have a graph that's like that, that's not as steep of a graph. Okay, we have gradient and we have steepness. And then, yeah, Tiana, what's wrong?
We can't show you. I didn't hear what you said about it orange line there.
Okay, I'll try and
Ma'am, why don't you leave and join again or restart your Wi-Fi modem?
No, leave and come back. I'll see that.
I think she's gonna leave and come back, guys. So she will be with us, Teacher Jen. And if you are talking to us, we still cannot hear you at this moment. So guys, we are just busy with a straight line formula. And we have learned that is y equals to mx plus c. And you have learned just now that m stands for gradient. And on that gradient, there's a formula on how you can find the gradient. And you know what c stands for. Who can tell us what c stands for? You guys know?
Ma'am, does it stand? Ma'am, does it
guys.
stand for intercept?
Yes, that's exactly
so
what
the
it
y-intercept.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, now we can hear.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful, glorious. Okay, so I just had to leave and come back on. Okay, all right, cool. So what you were saying there is great. That is our y-intercept. That is exactly what C stands for. It's our y-intercept. Okay, we're going to talk about it a bit more just now. So our M stands for our gradient or our slope. It's our steepness of our graph. It also tells us if it's a positive graph or a negative graph. And then C is our y-intercept. Okay, so let's have a look at a graph like this here. So we're going to use this table very briefly, but we're not going to use it a huge amounts because we're going to do it a bit of a different way when we go through this. Okay, so this would be our equation. We've got y is equal to 2x minus 1. If I have y is equal to 2x minus 1, what is my gradient? If my equation is y equals 2x minus 1, what is my gradient? Can we try and refocus into maths in the comments over there and move off Fortnite? Tiana, what is my gradient?
Isn't it the input that like?
So my input would be x.
Oh,
but it's okay.
Yeah, I don't even know what is a gradient in this.
Yeah, no, that's okay. We're still learning. It's all right. So do you see how this m is sitting before our x over there? So this is technically our m over there. That 2 is before the x. So that 2 is telling me it's my gradient. So if I wanted to know what my gradient is over here, I would say that my gradient, which we call m, is equal to 2. Okay, because it's the thing that's just in front of the x. And then if I asked you, what is my y-intercept? What is my y-intercept? What would my y-intercept be over here? Great, -1. Good. Okay, because that is my C value. So my y-intercept is going to be equal to -1. So when we look at our equation, we're kind of just bringing this guy into it, into a slightly different way. So we're saying that that's our m, so y equals mx, and that's our plus c. Okay, let's have a look at what this would look like if we were working with a table. So we did quite a bit of these tables when we were working with patterns. And for those of you who have been doing patterns in class, I think you would have also seen this a lot. Basically, we're saying that our x value is our input and our y value is our output. So when you were doing patterns, you would see that as n and as tn, but now we're just using x's and y's, okay? And so if we're using those x's and y's as our input and our output, let's see what our y value would be. So for example, if I'm looking at when x is -2, I'm saying, what is my y value? So my equation is 2x minus 1. What is my y value when my x value is -2? So we say y is equal to 2 times -2 minus 1, which means y is equal to -4 minus 1. And so y is equal to -5. And you can do all of that on your calculator. You don't need to do it like the long way around. You can just chuck it into your calculator. Okay, so my output there would be -5. I would love to know what some of my other outputs are. If you would like to give me your answer verbally, can we just stick with the idea of putting your hand up? And then as soon as I see your hand up, I'll call your name and then you can unmute yourselves just so that you guys don't end up talking over each other. Okay. Virginia, yes, I'm open to an answer.
For number 1, it's -3.
Okay, so for when my input is -1, you're saying my output would be -3.
Yes, ma'am.
100%. Nice job. Excellent. Great. Okay, Tiana, I'm ready for my next answer.
The next answer is -1.
Beautiful. -1. Roma, have you got the next one for me?
The next answer is 1.
Beautiful. You guys are too smart. Moabi, can you give me my next answer?
Ma'am, it's 3.
Yes, lovely. And I just need one more over here. What is my output when my input is 3? What is my output when my input is 3? And Nam, we are all yours. What is my output?
5.
Yes, beautiful. Good. I hope that you guys saw the little trick here, because remember when we're dealing with patterns, we go up in the same amount. And so we were going up in 2 for each of them. I hope that you saw that trick to make your life a little bit easier. Okay, so what you've done, guys, is you've landed up finding yourselves a set of coordinates. That's what you've done. So over here, my x value is -2 and my y value is -5. Here, my x value is -1 and my y value is -3. Then I've got 0 and -1, 1 and 1, 2 and 3, and 3 and 5. So we've found ourselves a set of coordinates. Now you can use the same Cartesian plane that you drew earlier. You don't have to draw a new one, but I would like you to plot these 3 points. So -2 and -5, 0 and -1, and 3 and 5. So plot those 3 points on your Cartesian plane. And then we're going to chat a little bit about what we are seeing. So you can use the same plane. You don't need to draw a new one, so it doesn't need to take too long. And then plot those 3 points and let me know how it goes. I'm so glad our sound is sorted out again. Sorry that it caused issues earlier. Thanks for letting me know, Yolanda. Marula, how can I help?
Yes, I would just like to know how would there ever be like X, Y, Z, like stuff like that?
So without numbers, with just like
Yes,
X's and Y's.
unknowns.
Sometimes we have to solve for those unknowns, but we will do that probably towards the end of next week. We'll start figuring out what those coordinates are.
Those will be our spicy questions.
Yeah,
don't worry.
Questions. But you have to be given one thing. So you either have to be given the X value or you have to be given the Y value. You can't be given nothing. If that helps. Moabi, hello. How can I help?
So when you are plotting it, can you put like alphabets for where you're gonna plot it?
So you can just put a dot. You don't need to write anything with it. So if I was doing, for example, this first one, I would just say -2, -5, and just draw myself a little dot. Okay, cool. Okay. So that's my first plot over there. Then I've got 0 and -1. So that's going to be my second dot over there. And my third dot is going to be 3 and 5. I'm going to have these 3 dots looking like that. And then I want you to grab yourselves a ruler. So any ruler, you can use a pen as a ruler, whatever is nice and straight. And I want you to connect these 3 dots in creating a straight line. Okay, so my line is not going to be beautiful, guys, as a warning. Because I'm not using a ruler, but I'm going to do my best. So we've got a straight line. Oh, that's gross. Guys, my straight lines are looking worse and worse as the day is going on. My first straight line that I drew today was so beautiful. Okay, that one's not so bad. Okay, great. So
this is not bad.
So they got a bit dodgy there in the middle though. Okay, so we're going to draw this beautiful, nice long straight line. Whenever we draw a straight line graph, we put arrows on the top and on the bottom. So we have to have those arrows because they're telling us that this graph can go all the way up and it can go all the way down. And then we have to give this graph a name. So our name of our graph is always going to be the equation of the graph. So in this case, it's going to be y is equal to 2x minus 1. So you're going to draw your graph, you're going to put arrows on each end, and you are going to give it its name. Now, the nice thing with the straight line graph is you'll know that you're wrong with your plotting if it's not a straight line. So hopefully you all have beautiful straight lines in front of you right now. That is what I'm hoping for. Tiana, is yours looking good?
Ma'am, mine is looking good, yeah. Now it's just looking beautiful. But the thing is, what is this now? What is it called? Because I know, ma'am, it start in the start and say, wait, deadlines, it go 4 times. So what is this now called? The
This is
straight line.
called a straight line graph, or
So we're
sometimes,
not going to do the curved lines.
or it's called a linear graph sometimes.
So we're not going to do the curved lines.
No, the curved ones we're only going to do next year.
Mem's going to teach me next year because I don't
Yep.
understand this.
I'll be here with you. Jasmine, yeah. Oh, I've lost Jasmine. There we are.
The title of the graph, can it be written anywhere, like alongside the line, or it has to be?
It sort of just looks better if it's either at the top or the bottom, but it can be anywhere on the graph. But I would try and keep it at the top or the bottom.
And the arrows at the either ends, my teacher said it means that the graph can go on and on.
Exactly. So that graph's going to carry on going all the way up to infinity up here, and this graph's going to go all the way down to negative infinity down there.
So it does work like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Amber, that is a great question. So you don't have to choose the specific ones I chose. I only chose those ones so that we could talk about something. So the cool thing with this is that when we draw a straight line, for example, like over here, that point is on my straight line, okay? And it's telling me that when my X value is 1, my Y value is 1. And we actually also work that out as 1, 1. Okay, then here, this was 2 and 3, 2 and 3, it lies on my graph as 2 and 3. So as long as we have an X value, we can always find the Y value. And think of those coordinates as like a pair. They are a married pair, they're stuck together. So whenever there is an X, there is always going to be a Y. They have to be together. We can't ever just have an X by itself. We can't have a Y by itself. There's always going to be one X and one Y. Okay. So Lekane, when it comes to finding the rule, that's stuff that we did when we looked at doing patterns. So we're not going to spend time in this course looking to find the rule, but we are going to try and solve the equation of a graph. So you'll get given a line like this, and you have to find M and you have to find C. And we are going to do that. We're just going to do it next week. But actually, the cool thing with drawing a graph is you actually only have to have 2 plots. You see, only like in this one, you only would really need like that one and that one. And you could draw a straight line. You could also just have that one. You only need 2. So you need 2 dots to draw a straight line. And on Thursday, I'm going to show you which 2 dots we're going to choose and how we can use just our equation so that we don't have to deal with this whole table method. We can just use an equation. We can find our 2 sets of coordinates and draw our graph without having to deal with the table. So we're going to be able to skip steps. So the table is always something you can do. It's always like something you can keep in your back pocket as something that you can do if you're needing to do it. But it takes a lot longer. So we're going to learn a way that's going to make your life a little bit easier. And it's called, for those of you who've done this in class already, we're going to be learning about the intercept method on Thursday. That's how we're going to be drawing these new graphs. And that actually brings us to the end of our very first lesson on straight line graphs. I hope that you had fun and that you learned something, especially those of you who haven't ever seen this before.